So for our sitcom project, we decided to analyze the two shows How I Met Your Mother and The Big Bang Theory. How I Met Your Mother is an American sitcom shot and set in Manhattan. It aired on CBS from September 19th, 2005 to March 31st, 2014. It was nominated for 72 awards and won 18 of them. The show uses an interesting framing device. It's where Ted, the main character, is actually in the year 2030 telling his son and daughter the events that led him towards meeting their mother. The Big Bang Theory is a lot like How I Met Your Mother in a lot of ways. It's an American sitcom shot and set in Pasadena, California. It aired on CBS from September 24th, 2007 up until the series' 10th season premiered on September 19th, 2016. In fact, the 11th season is premiering on Monday. The series was nominated for an outstanding 108 awards and won 27 of them. The show is mainly centered around two physicists sharing an apartment named Sheldon and Leonard. In the show How I Met Your Mother, the characters are very emotional and share all their feelings with each other. They're very close and are a lot like family. This tells me that they value friendship above everything. On the other hand, the characters in The Big Bang Theory are a lot more introverted and keep their emotions to themselves. They are all extremely smart and arrogant. This tells me that most of the characters value knowledge and intelligence. For both shows, the male characters are portrayed as very goofy. In How I Met Your Mother, Barney goes through a lot of funny adventures and is obsessed with making every night as legendary as possible. He is also a playboy who provides a lot of comic relief. Ted is the main character, and he is always searching for love and his life's true purpose. He is a clueless romantic. Marshall is a great husband to Lily and a smart, respected, and accomplished lawyer. However, he can be very funny at times. For the female characters, Robin is a professional news reporter that has a lot of boyfriends throughout the show and also dates Ted and Barney. She is looked at as the single woman throughout the show. Lily, married to Marshall, is a kindergarten teacher that also loves art. Lily values friendship and her husband more than anyone. In the show The Big Bang Theory, all four male main characters, Raj, Sheldon, Howard, and Leonard, are all very geeky and intellectual. They aren't portrayed as very strong, controlling males like other men on television. They're all very similar. The main female character in the show is Penny. She's kind of portrayed as the dumb blonde. The men look down upon her just because she's a waitress and isn't as smart as them. However, she has a lot of insight about problems the men have in their lives. Unfortunately, they rarely take her advice just because of their enormous egos. So in the Big Bang Theory episode, The Flaming Spittoon, Leonard, Howard, Amy, Sheldon, and Raj visit a comic book store. Amy is a minor character, and she kind of has a fuzzy relationship with Sheldon at the time. The man working there, named Stuart, asks Leonard about Sheldon and Amy's relationship, so he could ask Amy out on a date. So back at Sheldon and Leonard's apartment, Leonard asks Sheldon if it's okay for Stuart to ask Amy out. Sheldon acts as if everything is fine, even though he cares a lot and still likes Amy. Oops. So while Stuart and Amy are on their date, Sheldon visits Penny's apartment and asks Penny out on a date to try and make Amy jealous for some reason. Penny obviously declines and instead gives Sheldon advice on how to get with Amy. So Sheldon goes to the movie theater and interrupts Amy and Stuart's date. Sheldon asks Amy if she'll be his girlfriend, and Amy says yes. Then Sheldon leaves Amy and Stuart to the rest of their very awkward date. In the episode of How I Met Your Mother called The Slap Bet, Ted, Barney, Robin, Marshall, and Lily are all at the bar and they decide to go to a mall but for some mysterious reason, Robin doesn't want to go. She says it's just because she hates malls, and the group wants to know why. So, Marshall and Barney make a slap bet about the reason why Robin hates malls. A slap bet is where you make a bet with someone, and whoever's wrong, the other person gets to slap them in the face as hard as they can. Marshall thinks it's because Robin was married and she met her husband at the mall. And Barney thinks she's just shameful and because she did porn. So during a game of Scrabble between Ted and Robin tells Ted that she was married. So later in the bar, Ted tells the rest of the group that Robin was married, so Marshall slaps Barney. However, the next day, Marshall went to the library and found out that Robin was lying and that she was never married. Since Marshall lost the bet and had already slapped Barney, Barney got to slap Marshall 3 times in a row. At the end of the episode, back in the apartment, Barney found out that Robin didn't do porn and she wasn't married. She was actually a Canadian pop star called Robin Sparkles that had a hit song called Let's Go to the Mall. Since Barney already slapped Marshall and he was wrong about the bet, Barney was given a decision whether to get 10 slaps in a row at that moment or 5 slaps that can be doled out whenever Marshall wants. The episode ends with Marshall using his very first slap.
Let's start by looking at how culture relates to How I Met Your Mother and The Big Bang Theory. So first, what is culture? Culture is a social behavior and normal found in human society. Now, how does it relate to The Big Bang Theory and How I Met Your Mother? Well, culture is recognized and focused upon in almost every television show. Typically, a show is produced in a certain time frame where different perspectives and values and daily contributions and routine are enforced. An example of this would be in the 1950s, when life was centered around the father. Usually the father would make all the household decisions, working special jobs, and was a wise, respectful, and smart person. Nobody was proven to be smarter than the father. In the sitcoms How I Met Your Mother and The Big Bang Theory, most recent ways of living have influenced the writing and acting of these shows. Geek culture is clearly emphasized and embraced in The Big Bang Theory, which is still recent in today's way of living. Although The Big Bang Theory may relate to a section of today's way of living, How I Met Your Mother gives a clear representation on a more popular, casual way of living. The episode Slap Bet and How I Met Your Mother really established an idea of how a group of friends hanging out could symbolize a precise image on how current culture relates to everyday living. Quote, "I want to stress that I was young and didn't know any better. Just so you know, 18-year-old me would be all over you." Robin, the girlfriend of Ted, relates to her past stories and conveys an image of herself she isn't proud of. Ted, the boyfriend, accepts and interprets her past as a way to laugh and grow on. The friends, Ted, Barney, Robin, and Marshall, create a positive, outgoing atmosphere while having a good time. This reinforces current culture and society through the mindset of embracing change and looking to the positive things in life. Second, for The Big Bang Theory, in the episode The Flaming Spittoon Acquisition, nerd culture is enforced through the recurring setting in the comic store. This is significant because it establishes personification. For a lot of these guys, the weekly trip here is the only chance their mom has to go down to the basement and change their sheets. Leonard quotes. He describes people visiting the store as those who still live with their parents, unproductive and antisocial. Leonard uses an oxymoron by using weird and contradicting concepts such as living in the basement and changing seats, along with the care from their mother, to characterize the people who visit a place like the comic store.
Status in The Big Bang Theory is based on intelligence, while in How I Met Your Mother, socioeconomic status is based more on income and how successful the characters are. This is a result of the different cultures each show portrays and the characters live in. Characters in The Big Bang Theory are surrounded by nerd/geek culture, so it makes sense that they value intellect over income. Characters in The Big Bang Theory use their occupations as an indicator of intelligence. The characters of How I Met Your Mother live in a more typical culture, which generally judges people on how successful they are, which in today's world is directly linked to income. This can be seen with the condescending attitudes of Sheldon and Barney. Barney always thinks he's right, and Sheldon speaks to almost everyone as if they are inferior to him. This could be seen specifically in the flaming spittoon accusation when Sheldon interrupts Amy and Stuart's date, and they both, Amy and Sheldon, speak about Stuart as if he's revolting, probably because they view him as very dumb because of his comic book store career. Both Sheldon and Barney represent in some ways the hierarchy of their group. Sheldon is the smartest and Barney is the most successful. Both leaders are also in ways outcasts. Sheldon is he has no social skills, and Barney is obsessed with suits, and even explains in one episode that he spends 1/16 of his annual income on them. In The Big Bang Theory, Sheldon and other characters fit into a group that is anything but normal. In How I Met Your Mother, first impressions reveal the characters to be normal, later to expose extreme personalities and experiences.
Alright, so techniques and strategies used to intrigue the audience. So first of all, both sitcoms introduce the laugh tracks, which are used to show or assist audiences when laughing. Uh, Both sitcoms also use multi-camera angles, which having these shots of different angles emphasize certain characteristics or emotion.
Both sitcoms also use lighting, which lighting is usually used to help the viewer grasp the atmosphere and feel the mood of the current scene. And close-ups create contrast between the viewers and the characters of the show. Overall, The Big Bang Theory had a clear plot that was easy to follow. It stayed on one simple, entertaining topic and executed its main focus. While proceeding to do so, much humor was incorporated into the script and was used to engage the audience.
Characters in The Big Bang Theory are more easily definable when compared to those in How I Met Your Mother. Sheldon's an antisocial super nerd with no social skills. Leonard is a somewhat cool, normal nerd that has to deal with Sheldon. It can be seen that the characters' roles seem pretty dependent on each other.
In How I Met Your Mother, the characters share similar traits but have contrasting personalities. None of these characters have a fixed role in the show, allowing for the audience to have trouble upon grasping a concept and or building a relationship.
Furthermore, The Big Bang Theory's simple plot and characters that are heavily reliant on each other make for a simple, clear, and more hilarious story.
Alright, so we chose some quotes here that we think exaggerate the points we've already made in our presentation and symbolize the episodes we chose to study. The first one I'm going to look at is this one. Are you telling me that Sheldon's patented blend of condescension and no sex isn't enough to hold on to a woman? This shows that even if Sheldon is in some ways at the top of his group because he's so smart, he's also an outcast to them because he's like his lack of social skills just makes him so weird. And the second one I'm going to look at, which is on slide 12, is this one. This is what Stuart says. While she didn't look through me with soul-sucking, ball-shriveling hatred and contempt, I like that in a woman. So this is Stuart, like, acknowledging that he's a pathetic person, he's a pathetic character, and the show makes him out to be pathetic just because he works in a comic book store and he's not like a scientist like all the other characters.
Okay, so now I'm going to talk about a quote that kind of symbolizes geek culture that Sheldon says. So, cluck, 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 what are we ladies at a quilting bee, or are we men playing a fantasy card game set in a magical frontier town? So, Sheldon's kind of exaggerating here that they are no women that are doing some silly things. They are playing a card game that is just that they are loving, right? They are really getting into this card game. So who else but geeks would do that? And another quote here is on slide 12, and it is by Sheldon again. Quote, "You okay? Am I okay? I'm on a lifelong trajectory that includes a Nobel Prize in cities named after me. All 4 wisdom teeth fit comfortably in my mouth without need of extraction. And my bowel movements run like a German train schedule. So right here, we're just kind of defining what Sheldon thinks of as success. He he obviously knows that he's going somewhere, especially his bowel movements. Those things are luxurious. So that just kind of determines success in Big Bang Theory. So overall, those are the quotes that we picked to show you guys. We think they are some pretty good ones that symbolize the episodes we've given you.